Howdy, folks. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Roleplay Sailwind. My name is Dalton Rutlinger, and in this episode, as you can see, I've already got the sandbuck all nice and cleaned off for you guys. Didn't even take it to the shipyard this time. I just went straight here to the Sage Hills and clean it off with the broom. Cleaning off the outside is a lot easier than cleaning off all of the inside, as it seems. Anyway, in this episode, we are going to be heading up to Happy Bay, and after that, we're going to be heading up to Fort Astron, though I think I'm going to be calling this a two-parter episode. We have a lot of loads that are going to Happy Bay. In fact, pretty much all of our missions are going straight to Happy Bay. But then after that, we also have an entire cargo hold full of tea, green tobacco. There's some gems in here somewhere and some medicine. There's the gems right there. The gems are... we only have 6 days to deliver them to Happy Bay, and needless to say, we need to get a move on, so let's waste no further time and just let's go. Okay, so which way is the wind blowing right now? It is somewhat favorable for us. In fact, it's not too bad. Okay, let's go ahead and lower you completely. And tell you what, let's also go ahead and release you. You can kind of help pull us away from the dock a little bit. For right now, we'll just keep the sail like that. We'll just let the sail catch all the wind as possible. And I'm not going to worry about the mizzen-mast quite yet. And I want to bring you guys' attention to another game that's not quite ready to be released as of yet, but it's called Following Seas. It's kind of like Sailwind in some respects, but it's got a lot better graphics, and overall it's basically the same game, just largely better graphics. It's called Following Seas. I'll try and post a link to the guy who's doing it in the description box below, or maybe just down in the comments section. But I just came across this just earlier today, and I am very impressed with what I've seen. I cannot wait to see this game release, because, or at least get into a demo state, because it is a really cool little project. It's nice to see some other developers tapping into this market that's basically untouched, if I'm going to be honest. There are sailing games out there, sure, but I mean, sailing games like this, with like proper wind physics and water physics and you know, the ability to like trade certain cargoes from one archipelago to the other, or hell, even like a nation or something. That would be kind of interesting. Just have like an actual continent out there in the ocean somewhere. I mean, obviously you couldn't make any deliveries like further inland or anything. You'd be strictly like towards the coastlines. But I think it'd be kind of interesting to see just larger bodies of land for this game. I know we just got the Firefish Lagoon not that long ago. I'm not trying to pressure Raw Lion to, produce any more content faster than he possibly can. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing ideas out there. I'm trying to fill the void of quietness for the video. So let's go ahead and get you pointing in the right direction. And I think that might be good enough for now. That'll be a good enough starting point for our heading. The wind is not agreeing with our sails here at all. That looks a bit more favorable. And then we'll bring this guy in. There we go. I'll call that good. All right. And yeah, we have after we unload all this stuff at Happy Bay, we have 13 or 14 crates of tea that we're taking with us. The only reason I didn't buy more was because I ran out of money, or almost ran out of money. I'm topped up on missions also. I can't take any more missions until I get a higher reputation. Speaking of reputation, what the heck is our reputation? So we're not far off from hitting the 60,000 mark for the Emerald Archipelago. And interestingly enough, we have a higher reputation in Aulonk than we do in Astron. Kind of funny, but let's go ahead and get our green and red lights going. If the game will let me, thank you. I still have not gotten any more lanterns for up here at the very bow of the boat so you guys can see what's going on, but lanterns are expensive, and I'm thinking I'm going to keep the red and the green lights, but I'm thinking I'm going to sell these yellow lights, and probably this blue one too. I kind of like the blue at first, but I don't know. It hasn't really been quite as favorable as I thought it would have been. I was expecting it to be like more of a kind of a darker blue, I guess. But yeah, maybe what I could do, actually. There's no real reason to have this light here because I can't go into the cargo hold for obvious reasons. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just put the blue light up here. And there we go. You guys have light up here now. And now you guys should be able to see like all of the ship in its glory. That does look kind of cool, though, I have to admit, with the blue light up at the front. I need to get some more green and red lights just for, like, the very bow of the ship. I could have bought some green lights back there at the Sage Hills, but, yeah. Don't know if it's really worth it quite yet. Maybe next time we come back to the Dragon Cliffs. But this is pretty much where I've wanted to be for this entire Let's Play. We're kind of racking in the money a bit faster than I really care for, but I suppose money only really goes so far in this game. The next big thing that we can buy is the brig, and I don't really know if I want to buy the brig for this Let's Play. Alright, so let me check the map here real quick. Also, I went ahead and restocked on our food and water and whatnot. I don't want to bore you guys too much with the loading and unloading of the ships. And, you know, stocking up on supplies and all that kind of stuff. Alright, so from Sage Hills, if we sell just basically the exact same thing, north by northeast, we should hit Happy Bay. Only in this thing, it's gonna be a lot easier. Could take a star rating, though there's no point. So long as there's, you know, visual representation, there's no real reason to do a star mapping or anything like that. These sprites of like splashing water, I don't they could probably do with just being either lessened or Maybe even just taken out of the game completely. Like right there, they're not too bad, but whenever you get like the big splashes like that, it's kind of ugly. I know water is hard to do and hard to, program and whatnot, but that's really hard on the eyes, especially the more you look at it. I'm going to try and just ignore it for as much as I can. But I don't think there's a reason for it to splash that much. I mean, we're in calm seas right now. Anyway, it is time for me to go to bed. I will see you guys in the morning. Wait, whoa. Where the heck are we? Are we? That's gotta be Serpent Isle, right? Like, that's gotta be Serpent Isle. What else would that be? Yeah, because that's the Serpent Isle right over there. Then that's... I believe that would also be part of Serpent Isle. The Serpent Isle is the only island that has this random rock out here. And somewhere behind there is Newport. But I might actually be able to see Newport if I go up here to the bow. Not quite. So how's the wind doing? Actually, we have some pretty favorable wind. It's a rarity in Sailwind, so let's go ahead and enjoy it for all it has to offer. I think we can probably go ahead and just... Oh, I think the sails are fully released. This one isn't, though. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was Newport at first. I was about to be very shocked. Like, there's no way we got from Sage Hills to Newport in just one day. That would be insane. I wouldn't complain, keep in mind, but... Alright, you know what? Let's go ahead and do some fishing. No point in going through all of our food supplies all at one time. I've got 4 crates of salmon, so it's not like we're going to go through it instantly, but I like to have a bit in reserve, you know what I mean? Whoop. Let's not break the pole. There we go. We're gonna have a cookout on a wooden ship. That's never a bad idea, especially when you're miles and miles and miles away from land. What is the worst that could happen? Now, we're not quite catching the full force of the wind anymore, which is kind of unfortunate, but I'll deal with that here in a second. It's not an immediate thing that needs to be taken care of. That did have a hook, right? I still had a hook on there. I'm just going to assume that I had a hook on there. Yeah, I did have a hook on there. Okay, well, back into the water you go. Catch me a fish, dang it. I thought of this idea actually just yesterday. Somebody mentioned it on the Discord, but heat stroke would probably be an interesting mechanic to put into the game. Because right now, like, there's no reason to really have this roof. I just have it because it just makes sense to have it. But imagine if you didn't have this and you were actually out on the open ocean for days on end without any kind of shade at all whatsoever. You'd look like a British person who's been in the sun for like 10 minutes. And not just any sun, probably like the Sahara sun in particular. There's a lot of British people that I watch on YouTube. They say there's no in between. You're either pasty white or you're tomato red. Okay, right now I'm not catching anything, so I'm just going to go ahead and bring this in. I'll try catching something else at a later time. Let's go ahead and take a reading real quick. Still have a pretty decent heading. I think the only thing I really need to focus on right now is just bringing you in just a slight little bit. I'll call that good. And turn off the lights. Let's take a speed test real quick. Okay. She's trying to get up to 9 knots. Though closer to 8, but she's trying to get at 9. It's going to be interesting to see what Atrian has to offer. Unfortunately, you guys didn't really get to see all the customization options at Alonk because I I did a lot of that stuff off screen. I think I was listening to something at the time, and I just wanted to play something to kind of cure my boredom with it. So, oh well. We'll be going back to Alonk in the probably not too distant future, so I'll try and show the customization of this particular ship whenever we go to the next dockyard, which might actually be at Astron, because I want to see what kind of ship or sail colors they have up there. The selection at Gold Rock City wasn't terrible, and I'm kind of in the middle ground with the selection at Firefish Lagoon. Like the what are they? The fin sails, they don't look bad. I think they actually look pretty good on this particular ship, but they were expensive. They had cool colors though, don't get me wrong. But I think this ship in particular will look really, really good with black sails. That's kind of what I'm aiming for, is black sails. And I'm hoping I can get to Happy Bay before I have to go to bed tonight. It's already 7 o'clock. But we are making some pretty decent progress, so actually, one thing I want to check out here is, okay, these are all paying in Astron crowns, which, I mean, that's fine because we're going to be going up to Astron anyway, but I kind of want to see how much money we're going to be making in terms of Emerald Dragons. Yeah, so altogether we have like 23 or 24 crates of tea. So that's like 1,000 pounds of tea. Then we have 10 crates of green tobacco, 8 crates of medicine. Oh wow, gems actually weigh a lot. That's what, 160 pounds per box? And then we've got 2 barrels of rum. I could actually play the Wellerman song right now, and it actually makes sense. Okay, how much money did I actually make whenever I... Huh. I think you could probably do with turning just a little bit further to the north here. Maybe not too much, but just a smidge, yeah. The sails are still perfectly aligned. Well, perfectly might be a bit of a stretch, but I mean, they're good enough as they are. And a lot of people on the Discord were like, how do you have the patience to load your cargo hold like this? And, you know, I gotta tell you, as silly as it might sound, this is actually one of the joys I get from this game, is neatly organizing the cargo hold as much as I can. It must be an OCD thing, but it's just something that I enjoy doing. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. As you can see, a lot of these boxes are very cattywampus, but it's fine. At least for now, anyway. I was almost capable of taking every mission to Happy Bay from Sage Hills, and I was so ready for it. I wonder if we can see Newport from here. I don't think so. I think they're still hiding behind Serpent Isle. But the wind's starting to pick up now, so the waves are getting bigger. Although, it might actually be too far away to actually see now. It's just going to be little tiny rocks on the horizon. Let's see here. I'm going to try and get to longitude 4, which I might actually already be there. Then we're just going to head straight north. Let's see, what time is it? Oh, let's get a reading right now. Yeah, I think we can just hit start... I think we can just start heading straight north now. And then we should just run straight into Happy Bay, or at least pretty close to it. Just straight north. I need to get a shelf for up here. That way I can keep track of of my compass a bit more accurately. I wonder if I can just put it... I mean, it's not perfect, but I suppose it'll do. Yeah. Well, I suppose I'll see you guys whenever I have something new to report. Well, I think it's safe to say we made some pretty good progress today. Once this wave gets out of the way, you'll see Dragon Cliffs is way in the distance. I said once this wave gets out of the way. Once this wave gets out of the way. Once that wave gets out of the way, you'll see another wave. Crow's nests. They would be a very welcome addition to the game. Anyway, let's go ahead and cook some food. There we go. Yeah. Dragon Cliffs is being left behind in the distance once again. I've almost gone through half of our first box of fishing hooks. Which isn't great, but what can you do, I suppose? Let's go ahead and turn on these lights. I believe I still have us going just straight north, unless the ship has shifted on me. It looks like it's just trying to, but for the most part we are just heading straight north. So long as we can get to a point where we can actually see Happy Bay off in the distance, I'm happy. How's the wind doing? Wind's doing windy things. And the sun is going down. Tomorrow, Dragon Cliffs will be out of sight once again until we come back for another load of tea. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what we should try and export back to, or import to, the Dragon Cliffs. Grain, potentially? I think that's the main export for the Eastern region, is grain. Which makes sense. You've got Mount Malefic, which has very fertile land with a very huge wheat field on it. I think grain would not be the worst thing to try and export from the Eastern region. Another thing I might try and do is... Can I remove the hammock on this boat? I don't remember. I wouldn't mind getting another bunk bed, like, or not bunk bed, but the bed I had on the brig in my previous playthrough. I had that king-size bed. One thing that would be interesting for a challenge would be, I know I've talked about this in the past at length, but I gotta talk about something in the video. You know, you guys probably don't want just a empty video with nothing but game sounds, at least on my channel anyway. Imagine if Raw Lion added in a Arctic region where, just like in real life, it made the compass just go absolutely crazy because of. Dang it! Now I can't think of what the heck causes that to happen. Metals in the atmosphere, I think. Atmospheric interference, regardless, that just makes the compass spin like crazy. So it's very hard to get a reading on which direction you're actually going. You'd have to rely on the stars, which would make a very, very interesting challenge. Like having to rely on the North Star. Like you'd have to wait until nighttime to figure out, okay, so I'm facing this way. I mean, the sun would also help a little bit, but if you're at like the northern pole, I don't know how much the sun is actually going to help you out. It'd be like the Franklin expedition. I think that's the name of it. The guys that mapped out the North Pass. I can't remember names to save my life. It's a curse, I tell you. I'm pretty sure it was the Franklin expedition. Alright, well, let's go ahead and drink our water. Let's eat one of these fish. Probably take them off the stove, to be honest. Let's go ahead and eat another tuna. There we go. And now we can go to bed and sleep until morning. Alright, good morning once again, everybody. This is day 3 of our journey. And one thing I want to talk about in this particular game is the lack of bulkheads. Do you guys realize how much trouble we're going to be in the event Raw Lion actually adds in model damage to the game? Like, just one little scrape along the hull here, and we're all screwed. Because there's no bulkheads or anything. Where's my broom? I have a broom. Somewhere. There it is. And that Following Seas game that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the guy actually has bulkheads in his game, which is interesting to me. Because that would actually kind of indicate that sooner or later there will be, like, literal sinking mechanics. I don't know if that's something that's actually planned or if it's just like an aesthetic thing, but either way, it's kind of cool to look at. It also kind of makes planning cargo loading and unloading a bit more interesting as well, rather than just like kind of charging down here, grabbing this barrel and charging back up to wherever it is I'm going to. At least this ship is pretty easy to clean. It doesn't have a lot of nooks and crannies like the junk does. The only place that's kind of hard to clean is the cargo hold. You can only clean that whenever we don't have a load on. A tight ship's a happy ship. Oh god, now I want to watch that movie. Treasure Planet. Well done, Mr. Arrow, sir. A tight ship's a happy ship, sir. That is absolutely one of Disney's better movies, in my opinion. It flopped hard at the box office, but it is by far one of their best movies, at least as far as my opinion goes. It's kind of weird about that, actually. Like, a lot of Disney's best movies, they don't do well at the box office. Like, look at Atlantis. Like, Disney's Atlantis was... It's a freaking masterpiece. Well, maybe not quite a masterpiece, but it's definitely a very good movie. It deserves more reputation than what it actually gets. Um, Calm down. Should probably do a quick little reading with a compass. Keep us on relative track. Very good. Still got a ways until noon. I was gonna do something else. What the heck was I gonna do? I've completely forgotten. Ah, yes, I was going to scan the horizon. No sign of Happy Bay, but it'll probably be another day or two before we can actually see it on the horizon. Or maybe even towards the end of the day, depending on how much progress we make. The wind's been pretty good to us so far, and knock on wood, we haven't encountered any storms. And we have 4 days left to deliver the gems, which I don't think actually pays that well, so I'm not really that concerned about it. And it only pays 374 Eastern Crown, so it's not exactly that big of a deal. The green tobacco is the moneymaker here. And we have 15 days to deliver that. It's the tea and the green tobacco I'd be a bit more concerned about. And once we get to Happy Bay, I don't know if I'm just going to continue on to Fort Astron with the load that I already have, or if I'm going to try and buy something else. I believe the thing that Happy Bay exports is like lumber material, like timber, lumber, nails, and stuff like that. I suppose we'll have to see what we can get. Anyway, I'll see you guys whenever presumably Happy Bay appears on the horizon, or in the event we encounter a storm. So I'll see you guys then. Let's see. Looks like latitude 34. So with any luck, Happy Bay should be in sight by tomorrow. Sweet. Alright, well, the sun is rising on... What is this, day 4, day 5? Day 4. Because I think I had 7 days. No? I had 6 days. How is this? Is this really day 3? Huh, I don't know. Happy Bay should presumably be in sight somewhere. Might have to wait for the sun to rise up a bit more. Though, while the star is still out, I might be able to get another reading. Just to see... which one is it? I think it's that one. Maybe we weren't at latitude 34. Maybe we're at 33. I'm going to go ahead and get my spyglass. I might as well. Maybe I can spot Happy Bay off on the horizon somewhere. as far as I can tell. Maybe when the sun gets a bit higher up, we'll be able to see it. Oh! There she blows. Land ho. There's Happy Bay. It's always when you start to lose hope. It's always like right whenever I start to wonder if I've sailed too far, sailed too like far south, or too far south? No, that doesn't make sense at all. If I've sailed too far to like to the west or the east, or if I just completely bypass it and didn't even notice. But now, I just have so little faith in myself. We've been fine. Let's go ahead and get the ship pointed in that general sort of direction. Now, so far, this has been a pretty easy sail. Knock on wood. There's not really been any kind of trouble. We haven't encountered a single storm. We haven't had any like unfavorable winds. All in all, it's been a pretty pleasant journey. All right, guys, there we are. There's the lights of port. The wind has been pretty generous to us pretty much throughout this entire journey. It hasn't blown in my face a single time. Makes me kind of nervous for my journey to Astron itself, if I'm going to be honest. Because whenever you have really good luck, you got to make up for it somehow. I'm just going to go ahead and raise up the jib sail for now. I think buoys would be another really interesting thing to add into the game. Just to kind of give you a better idea for your approach vector, you know? But Happy Bay is an area we know very well at this point. Even the character knows pretty well at this point, so... Not like it really matters. Okay, considering the wind is going to be at our back whenever we're going in, I think I'm just going to go ahead and raise up the rear sail. Start getting ready for docking procedures. Let's get you angled in. Very good. Yeah, let's kind of start working on you. We'll start getting you ready. It is currently 8:30, so I still have plenty of time to do this. I can't make it up to Fort Astron, obviously, but at least we made it to Happy Bay, which means I can dock safely. Let's go ahead and raise you up to about half mast, give or take. Alright, now we'll just rely largely on our momentum just to get us to the dock. What the heck was that? Oh, I think it's just a light bug. Thought I was seeing raindrops there for a second. Like, there's not a cloud in the sky. Okay, with a wind like that, it's going to make leaving port kind of interesting, but we'll worry about that at a later date. Okay, tell you what, let's just wait for the boat to get closer. There we go. Grab you, and then I'll put you right there. All right, let's get this started. All right, guys, I am having some issues with the boxes here, but I've got everything unpacked for delivering to Happy Bay, so let's go ahead and deliver all this stuff. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the last bit of tea we have to deliver. And that brings us up to 3,702 Eastern crowns. But we can actually go a bit higher than that. Let's go to here. Okay, maybe not quite that high. There we go. So just under 4,000 crowns there. Let's see here. What can we take to Astron? Okay, I can't take iron. That's actually... I can take iron, but it's not really super worth it. In fact, I think I can take more copper. Yeah. I can take 2 copper and make a better income. What about logs? Oh. I can't afford it, though. Dang it. Sculptures? Okay, now we're getting places. And I can just barely afford it. What about Olank? Cena wants sculptures. Okay, that's worth bearing in mind. I think it's going to have to be a sculpture, if I'm being honest. I can't afford lumber, and it doesn't pay anywhere near as much. Does anywhere want nails? Dragon Cliffs, but Dragon Cliffs wants everything. Kika Bay wants it. Okay. Blue tobacco? Nope. Brown tobacco? Nope. Black tobacco? Nope. So yeah, I think it's going to have to be a sculpture that we take to Astron, do it. I have 1 coin left to my name. Oh, yeah. Sculptures are very, very heavy. You can just about carry a sculpture in the Dow, but in the Cacum, just forget about it. In fact, they're kind of a pain in the butt even in the junk. But yeah, that'll even us out nicely, like right there in the dead center of the cargo hold. And all the way up here, we have all this tea remaining that we're going to be taking to Astron as well. Each of those is bringing in like 4 grand, so we're going to get rich whenever we get to Astron. I'm also going to go see if there's some missions we can take, because why the bloody heck not? Okay, there are missions going to Astron, but they're mostly just going to Mount Malefic, which I don't really care about, so we'll just take what we've got for right now. For right now, and that'll wait until the next episode, so hope you guys are looking forward to it. If you enjoyed this one, please leave a like, leave a comment. If you enjoyed this kind of content and you want to see more, please consider subscribing, because I will have more on the way. And, yeah, until next time, guys, God bless, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. So, take care. Bye-bye.